Hey friends, so in this video I'll show you how I went from mostly natural brown to these blonde tips that I now have in my hair. I know I said I wasn't going to dye my hair at one point, but every summer it calls me back. So I'm going to show you exactly how I do it because I do it from home. Now it's important to note that I have done this in 3 stages, so this is the 3rd application. And the reason I like to do it in so many stages is because I just want to maintain the health of my curls. And if you can see, my roots are pretty dark brown, so to get it to lift to that really light blonde that I do have in some parts of my hair, it is a gradual process. Now I only do the front of my hair and I leave the back dark, just because that is my preference. So anytime you've ever seen my hair blonde, it is because I've used the Revlon Frost and Glow. I've always done it myself, and I've done different variations of blonde, but it's always been this product here. Now, I don't use the shampoo and conditioner that comes with it. I don't use the cap as well. I basically just use the cream developer and the lightening powder, as well as that kind of spatula looking tool right there. And then, of course, I take the plastic gloves off of the instruction manual, and then I just mix the product all together. Now, it's important to do this where you are in a well-ventilated area, and I'm doing this right in front of an open door, so I'm not actually intaking any of the fumes, and that's really important. Now, I typically like doing this when I have my curls formed a little bit better, but I actually just brushed it out a bit, and this is an old wash and go. It is better to bleach your hair when it is not completely fresh and clean. You do want it to be a little bit old or a little dirty, just to be a little bit healthier on your hair. Now you'll see I'm doing my bangs first, just to give you an example of what I do for each section, but pretty much do the same thing all towards the front of my hair. And I just like to do the front of my hair because instead of dyeing my hair dark when I get sick of this, I'd rather just grow out the blonde and just cut off the tips. So that's mainly why I like to do just the front of my hair, because that usually happens around the fall time. I'll just kind of trim out some of the blonde if I want to, rather than having to dye over my whole head. So sometimes I like to take a bit of a comb or even just my fingertips to kind of ease up the bleach into my hair a bit, so that it's not such a harsh line where the color ends, just so it's a bit of that sort of ombre look. So I use the excess bleach on my curly clip-ins just to make the ends more of an ombre as well, that lighter blonde at the end. Now the reason I use the foil is because the foil speeds up the processing time because there's heat locked in. Remember that as long as the bleach is wet, your hair will be processing, but once it's dry, it's no longer lifting. And so this is the result after about 20 minutes. I peeked under the foil, as you saw, and I was ready to wash out my hair. Now there is some brassiness, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Color Charm from Wella, and it's a toner. It's a T18, although I usually use a T14, but I guess I got an ashier one. And your hair is going to look like this when it's applied and on for about 15 minutes, so it turns a bit purple. Now you're going to see the results because I left it on a little bit longer than usual. You see how it has a bit of a gray tinge or a silver tinge? I don't hate it. It's cool. I knew it was going to be temporary, so I guess it's a good example to show you guys what can happen. And if you leave it even longer, it will go kind of purple. So you definitely want to check on your toner. If you find it's turning purple pretty fast, then monitor it and then wash it out accordingly, and definitely look at the directions as well. So this is after 2 days. As you can see, it's now that baby blonde, I don't know what you call that blonde, really ashy blonde at the tips, and it's no longer that gray color. So that's how I achieved this color. Now I just want to touch on something that I think a lot of people get confused about, and it's that question of, well, I did this and my hair turned orange. So let's talk about that. So my hair actually is not straightened here. I just took it out of a slick back bun. So that's what happens to my hair. It looks straight, but it's not. This is right before I'm going to wash it. But I think this shows you the color variations really clearly. So what I want to say is that when you go from that dark brown color, or even if you go from a natural black it's not going to lift to blonde right away. So this is how it works. It's going to lift about 3 levels. So you're going to go from that dark brown to about a red, and then or to a bit of a lighter brown, then to a red, because that's what's under your hair. And then after that, probably to an orange. It really depends. Everyone's hair lifts differently. Sometimes it depends on what you've had on your hair previously, or everyone's hair texture is different as well, and it takes to lightening products different. So anyways, if you get to the orange, it doesn't mean you did anything wrong. You're just not finished. And it means you have to bleach your hair again. So you can either wash out all the product and then reapply it again. But if you have curly hair, I would say wait a bit. Put your hair in a bun, wear a hat a couple days. Just wait till you get those natural oils back in your hair again before you do it again, if you can wait. Unless you have really strong hair that can handle it. But I mean, I have fine low density hair, so I don't like to take the chance. So after you get to that orange, that's when you can start getting to the blonde. The orange has to go to about a banana yellow before you can get to that light blonde. And I want you to keep in mind that toner only gives you the color that is already bleached. So what I mean by that is if you have that orange color and you try to tone it, you might get about a light brown. It will take away the brassiness, but it's not going to go lighter to blonde. If you get to that yellowy sort of color that you saw when I washed my hair out, then you tone it. That's when you start getting those beautiful blonde shades that are not so brassy. Now keep in mind there's all different kinds of toners as well. This one I showed you is a bit of an ashier one. Typically I like to go for one with a bit of more of a golden base, but as you can see I have a variation of blondes happening because I did them all at different times, and I like that. It kind of adds a little bit more dimension for me, and I like those warm tones mixed with the ashy tones just at the tips. So that's just my personal preference, but hopefully that helps to give you some more understanding of why your hair might go orange. I have a full video on that explanation I'm going to put below, as well as my haircut. I know a lot of people ask about my haircut, and I'll show you exactly what I do because I do it myself. Okay, so everybody just check below, and hopefully that will help out. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up so that I know, and if you found it helpful, definitely subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.